You were on the show a couple of weeks ago. Thank you very much for doing that. And you were on there kind of as the sole voice on your side of the issue, with 4 or 5 other voices that were kind of counterpoint voices. And I thought that we had a very respectful, intelligent conversation. And I talked to the audience afterwards in studio. I looked at the message boards afterwards, and I thought people on both sides of the issue were a little bit dumbstruck by what an intelligent, respectful exchange of ideas took place, even though there were some diametrically opposed positions. And I walked backstage, and you were back there with a couple of those people that you have debated before. You are 180 degrees out from where they are on positions, and y'all were laughing and talking about some personal issues and just really kind of enjoying some personal time together. What has happened that doesn't happen anymore? You were on different sides of issues about as diametrically opposed as you can get. You said your piece respectfully. You didn't interrupt anybody. They didn't interrupt you. Everybody, it was a good conversation, and then y'all were backstage treating each other like decent human beings. What happened to that? Why doesn't that happen anymore? It happened, you guys did it.
Well, again, my opinion on this is that I do think that there is currency in victimhood, and even in public debate. If you can claim that you've somehow been harmed by the other person, then we grant you a sort of patina of more credit. You're treated with more respect. So if you're in just an honest debate and everybody sort of understands the rules of the debate, you treat each other with respect, somebody wins, somebody loses, or maybe you just have a discussion, then there's no real reward there. But politically speaking, I think we live in a time where if you can claim that someone was mean to you on stage, or you claim that you were offended by somebody, that there is real currency in that. I was pointing this out with regard to, for example, the Vice President, Mike Pence, and Joe Biden, the former Vice President. So a couple of weeks ago, Joe Biden did a speech in Nebraska where he suggested that Mike Pence was a decent guy. And he was immediately hit by a wave of people who said, well, Mike Pence isn't a decent guy. He disagrees with me on some LGBT issues. This would be Cynthia Nixon, the former gubernatorial candidate in New York. And Joe Biden then backed down. And then he said, well, I guess Mike Pence isn't a decent guy because we disagree on those issues. Again, I think that the reason that he did that is not because he doesn't actually think Pence is a decent guy. He knows Pence. I think that he probably thinks Pence is a decent guy. But if you can pretend that there is a lack of character on the other side, it allows you to avoid having the kind of productive discussions that bring unity. And there's a lot of money to be made and a lot of political hay to be made in the polarization rather than in the reasonable discussion.